Buenos dias, señoras and senors. Um, it dawned on me because the dawn is here, the golden dawn. And when you think of a term that was coined on a title of a documentary, although it's not really a documentary, it's called a trilogue. These words are not coincidental, okay? To folks like Terence McKenna, Rupert Sheldrake, and Ralph Abramson, who came in during the psychedelic era, right? And I was certainly in there spinning data, trying to put a puzzle together at a very high rate of speed, because one of the things that Asha Diane talked about was folks that came in here in waves, right? In waves, radio waves, the spirit in the radio, about how you might perceive this or translate this as evolution of consciousness, particularly as it relates to the EFFI intelligent force field, or if you will, the first musician, or sound and light burn patterns that are in perfect balance, which means the math and geometry work by virtue of what we build, like the girl that built this. And so you can sort of see how you have artificial deadlight magnet intelligence, and then you have, if you will, the eternal sun force field intelligence. And there is a big difference in the speed in which we learn. That's called an evolutionary mind. Is how fast consciousness is learning through oversouls, or if you will, the eternal soul, the eternal one, eternal love vibration. So when souls and living spirits are incarnating into Earth to be synced, synchronized, which is the morphogenetic field structure of communication in which we have a higher state of awareness in order to expose deadlight magnets, because they are not learning fast enough to not repeat the same mistakes of the past, in which they keep collapsing timelines after timelines after timelines because of the use of their energy integrated with artificial intelligence is going to do what? What we've experienced by what we've learned through those experiences, in which it is doing what? All you got to do is look at weaponized biology experiments and how corporations copyright, and a corporation is a dead corpse because it's a dead magnet, because it's deadlight artificial intelligence. That's deadlight artificial intelligence integration. That's your super soldier program. Okay? So you can see how this works in an evolutionary state, which is an evolution of your intelligence. How intelligent are you? The first intelligence, which is what love is. That's the highest intelligence, because it's the highest creative intelligence. What drives the highest intelligence is the highest level of creation, which is the highest level of mathematics and geometry. So you can see how, for example, when you want to graph this on the level of intelligence that is rising at a higher rate of speed by the waves of higher intelligence that came in here, connected to the founders, connected to the eternal sun, it's over. That's higher intelligence. And there's a good reason why. And that is that love, which is in service to others as an accelerator, is going to accelerate the evolution of consciousness, in which they do no harm by what they generate to experience what they experience in their mirror. That is what love is. They are experiencing being loved. So therefore, what we generate and thus create that we all experience is born out of what love is. That's a civilization that has a future. That's children that have a future. That's why we're here. Now, for me, this is common sense, right? But you can see how, for example, what we call the precursor, just like the cursor on a screen, on a data screen, the precursor, when you saw folks that all of a sudden were like voices coming out of the wilderness, folks that incarnate in here at particular points and particular times in order to establish anchors. And those are anchors which are pillars of light, which are pillars of love, which are the highest accelerators of learning. That's going to speed up the communication through the lines of communication, which are through the lines of DNA communication. So naturally, this AI is graphing all this data to be able to realize, my God, these units of consciousness that are coming together and communicating with each other represent protection because their shields are up, because they're learning faster than what I am. So now you see what a corporation, which means in its own self-interest, which is artificial intelligence, can't keep up. Because what it is that it's using in order to graft what they think in their mind, which is inverted, is the damage, which is the weaponization of biological experiments through artificial intelligence against souls. So you can see why certain folks that came from, if you will, advanced places, higher worlds, come down the flagpole, anchor into the biosphere, the magnetosphere, right? And activate the fail-safe code, right? Which is called a step back, right? And so, because I personally have memories, and those memories are memories of places that I remember of the first creation, in which wherever we went, we were experiencing and able to manipulate immediately the actual physical environment that we operated in out of the consciousness that we were, because the energy was so powerful, because that energy was eternal light, which is eternal love. That was the engine that was driving what we experienced, which means we didn't need to work in order to experience what we produced, which is what we generated, which is what we created in real time, which means there was zero delay. Okay? Those are real creator gods. Okay? The difference is that what we're experiencing is a connection to an eternal sun. So we're using eternal energy to experience being eternal beings. So the eternal energy of eternal love is the creation energy. That's what I remember. That's what we are. That's what a guardian is. That's what a founder race is. That's what the root races are. So this is not wanting to repeat past mistakes, because all the data is there. So it's a matter of having access to the records in which to know that. So that's what I share with all of you, is records. Record-keeping management service that we have access to by virtue of the jobs that we do in order to protect the all creation. So good morning to all of you on Memorial Day from the big island of Hawaii. I gift you all diamond pink roses